Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back with a contour, highlight, foundation, updated routine. So I don't even remember my last one was, but I know that some things are still the same from that video, but some things are a bit different. Now this is a more dramatic, I guess you could say, more heavy duty kind of routine, I guess. So this is not going to be for everyone, I know that, and also this is not like my completely everyday look that I do, because it is, like I said, it's a bit more like dramatic and everything like that. So this is just kind of what I like to do when I want to be like extra glam, when I want to film, because I really like how it looks, but I don't want to wear it like all the time because it's just, there is a little bit more to it. So I don't think I have anything else to say. So I'm just going to stop talking so you guys can see how I have been doing all that stuff lately. To conceal my under eyes, today they don't seem to be as bad, but they are definitely there. They are noticeable. What I like to do is I like to take this Wet n Wild. This is Pretty Persimmon, and it is a lipstick. It's like an orangey red. I really like it, but I just like to apply that right under my eye. I'm sure you guys have seen this trick. And I like to do this just sparingly, that way it's not like ridiculous and extremely noticeable, because, you know, no one wants that. So I just blend it out with my finger. Now that I look like I'm soaked in the blood of my enemies, I move on to contouring. What I like to use to contour is this. I do powder contour as well. But I just feel like with doing this kind of method, which is the cream contour, I feel like I just don't have to use as much powder contour. So I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I got this palette off of Amazon like 2 years ago. I am a makeup hoarder, I own that completely. But anyway, yeah, so I got this palette off of Amazon, and it's one of those really cheap palettes, but for what I need it to do, it works just fine for me. So if you are interested in getting this palette, just search cheap concealer palette or something like that on Amazon. So anyway, what I like to do is I like to mix this color and this color. And yeah, as you guys can tell, I have used this a bunch of times. But yeah, so I've dabbled in these other ones, but I really just stick to these two. So I just take a foundation brush, and like I said, I just mix them. Try not to go crazy with it, but sometimes I do. Alright, so I have a mirror that I'm going to be looking down at just so I can really see what I'm doing. But for me, I have very prominent cheekbones. Got good native genes on that. So I don't really need to do the whole like fish face thing, because I just know where mine are because I can fucking see them. So I just draw a line just very lightly. And what I like to do is just kind of do this like patting motion, just so it isn't, I don't know how to describe it, it's just so that way up here it's not like this super harsh line, and it just, I find for me, it just makes everything blend a lot easier, and just, it looks nicer. So obviously I do the same on the other side. So for my nose, I don't always contour my nose. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just honestly depends on how I'm feeling, but for the purpose of this video, I will. And what I like to do is I just like to dab into this one, and then I mix it with this one. That's because I just find I need a darker contour for my cheekbones, but it looks kind of funny if I have a really dark contour on my nose, no matter how well I blend out. It's just me. So I just draw just kind of a line. Not too worried if it's not perfect or anything like that. Sometimes I'll even like connect that line right in there. I don't always do that, but sometimes I do. I like to just kind of get the end, and then whatever is left on the brush is what I just put on my forehead. Next is my foundation, and what I've been using lately is this. This is the W7 Genius Featherlight Foundation. You guys seen me do a tutorial, not a tutorial, wow, but a review, like first impression kind of video on it, and I hated it. It was horrible. It just did not do anything that it was supposed to do. People had been comparing it to like Unique's like apparently like super full coverage foundation. I've never used it, so I can't say one way or another if that is actually full coverage or not. People were comparing that or this to that, and this was like $6 on Amazon, so it was like super cheap compared to the Unique one, which I forget how much that one is, but it doesn't matter. So I tried it out. I hated it. What I've been doing, because I hate wasting anything like makeup especially, what I've been doing is I mixed this with a because this one was also a little too light for me. I mixed it with a darker concealer. It was the Glamouflage, the Hard Candy Glamouflage Concealer in Tan. Put some of that in there, and then I've mixed it with various other darker foundations. So it has been working a bit better. So just know I'm using this, but it is not the true foundation. So, and this has a dropper, which I really like. It is still incredibly liquidy and runny and all that kind of stuff. So what I like to do is I like to take that same palette, and it's dirty as fuck, because I just like to apply some on there. Sometimes I get a little too much, sometimes not enough. So I'm just going to start off with that amount. And then I take this foundation brush. This one is by BH Cosmetics. I always forget that. And I just dab in there. And I try not to start off with a whole bunch, just a little bit. Oh, and fun fact, I always take out my nose piercing when I do it, my foundation. I've had my nose piercing since I was a freshman in high school, and I'll be 23 of August of this year. So I've had it for a while, so I just take it out when I put on my foundation now. That way I don't get foundation on the jewelry, and then I'm just able to get in there a little bit better. So anyway, I just like to apply this just, you know, a little bit sparingly in the beginning. And I'm not necessarily blending it out, but I'm not just like leaving it in clumps on my face, if that makes any sense. So once I've kind of roughly applied it, obviously I have not applied it all over my face yet. I just like to get my beauty blender. Obviously this is damp, and I just kind of start blending it out. And I do tend to kind of avoid my under eye area, just in case. I don't want that like red color being like my whole foundation, if that makes sense. So I just start off with a very light layer of foundation on the bottom half of my face. Alright, and I obviously, like, I need to layer it up more. I just find that doing it this way kind of seems to work for me, and then I'll go back in with a bit of a heavier layer. I should have mentioned that I don't blend out the contour, the cream contour that I've laid down. I don't blend it out on its own. I just put foundation over it and blend it out that way. And I'm not telling you that that is the right way or the wrong way to do it. That is the way I do it, and that's what works for me. So I think makeup is just one of those things. You just gotta experiment and find what works for you and what looks the best on you. So that is just my little PSA there. Alright, so next is gotta cover up all of that. And sometimes I will just put a light layer of my foundation over it. Other times I won't. So this is one of those times where I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix two of my concealers. You guys know these are like my favorite concealers to use. I feel like they're so full coverage. They're just, I don't know, I love them. I can't say enough things about them. Alright, so these are the Hard Candy Glamouflage concealers, and this one is in medium, and this one is a, it's not going to pick it up on camera, I doubt, but it's a very yellowy based one, and this one is the medium light one, and it's obviously not as yellow, and this one's a little like too yellow just on its own for me. And then this one's just like way too light on its own. So I definitely like to mix these, and I just mix them on the back of my hand. I will go in and just kind of mix them together with my finger. And then whatever's on my finger, I will apply on my eye, just so I'm not wasting any kind of product. And then I get this little foundation type brush. This one is from Eco Tools. I don't know the precise name of it because that has worn off. But I just like to pat it. And this is actually a lot, but I'll make it work. So I like to take my big beauty blender just for the bulk of this. I just find that it works so much easier. I'm looking down in my mirror, by the way. I'm just going to take what's left on my hand, just using my finger. I'm just applying that more because I do need to cover it up a little bit more. And then again, whatever's left on my finger, I just kind of apply it to the areas that I want kind of highlight a little bit more. Now, I don't always really highlight my forehead. I have a very prominent brow bone. I mean, it's not like extremely prominent, just from like straight on, you can't really tell. But if I like were to turn to the side, you guys can see it kind of, you know, it's like a ridge, I guess is the right word I'm looking for. So I kind of find that highlighting my forehead just draws more attention to that area, and I would rather just not do that. Next, I'm just taking my little beauty blender, and obviously I'm just blending this out. I like to use the bigger beauty blender just for like the majority of the blending on the first layer of concealer, just because I find that that's just, again, it works for me. And I make sure I drag that a little bit down just to cover up any redness I might have around my nose and all that. Alright, so next I need to set all of this stuff, and so what I like to do is I've just been trying to use this up. I've had this forever. It's quite old. It's the CoverGirl loose powder. This one is in 115 translucent medium. And I hate using loose powder, I honestly do, because it just gets everywhere and it's so annoying. So, and this is the brush that I'm going to be using. This is from Raw Colors, if you are wondering. Alright, so I've just gotten that much product on the brush, and I like to just look down, and I see that I need to blend it out because it's creased a little. I'm going to do my eyelid, because you do not want to set any creasing because it's just going to look crazy. And I just press, really making sure to get in there. The reason I do that is because I have like lines there that need to be set. Alright, so once I've applied it to certain areas, I just like to leave it on for a few minutes. I don't do the whole like, what is like the 5 or 10 minutes for baking. I have in the past and it works fine, but usually I don't have time to do that, so I don't. Once I feel like that has set, then I like to go in with just another powder. And this one is a pressed powder, and it is by Wet n Wild, and it's their Coverall pressed powder. This one is in light medium. And I just use this brush that I've had forever, and I just kind of apply it everywhere, and I'm also knocking off the translucent powder as I'm doing this. So you guys can see the contour is still there a little bit. I like to take, this is a bronzer by, I almost said Wet n Wild, but it is Estee Lauder. And it's just their Bronze Goddess powder, or bronzer I mean. And you guys have seen me use this. This is like one of my favorites. Now I will say it is a little bit red kind of toned. It's not like a just plain brown or something like that. It has like a red undertone to it. So it does, or can look a bit ridiculous. So I just try to use it sparingly, but I don't know. It's just like one of my favorites, so. And I just take a big fluffy angled brush. This is like my favorite contouring brush. Get some on there, tap off the excess. And then, even if I apply this like a little heavy handed, I always go and blend out my contour powder and stuff like that when I'm done. I will say I definitely like a strong contour, and some people try to read me for that, but I'm just trying to make myself happy, so I like a strong contour. So I just take this big fluffy brush by Eco Tools. It does not have any product on it. Well, it might have some like little leftover powder from the other day, but nothing crazy. I just kind of blend it out. So for blush, I am going to take, this is the Rimmel London Match Perfection blush. Just looks like that. It's really pretty. This one is in medium. And I'm just going to take it on an e.l.f. This is a, complexion brush. I just swirl it all around. Obviously, I just apply it to my cheeks. For highlight, I'm going to be using two different ones. The first one I'm going to be using is this e.l.f. Baked Blush one. This one is in Pinktastic. You guys have probably seen me use this one all the time. It's like one of my favorite ones. I'm just going to use this brush. As you guys can see, still has a lot of highlight on it. But this is the e.l.f. Pointed Foundation brush. And I just pack it on there. And again, I don't really worry about blending it out yet because I will go in with a different brush, which you guys saw earlier, and blend it all out. Then for the specific look I'm going for today, I'm going to take another one because I'm just kind of a highlighting whore, and this one is e.l.f.'s Golden like quad highlighter, bronzer palette kind of thing, I don't know. And I just swirl, tap off any excess, and apply it right over. And then I'm going to blend it all out. Alright, so that is the finished contour, highlight, and foundation routine. I hope that you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, check the description box. They are all linked down there. And shameless plug, but my second channel is linked down there as well if you want to go check that out. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next one.